trim those trees, raise up cups of Christmas cheer. I just need to catch my breath. Christmas by myself this year. Count the picture, frozen landscape, chill this room for 24 days. Evergreen, sparkling snow, get this winter over with. Flashback to springtime, saw him again. Would have been good to go for lunch. Couldn't agree, we're both free. We tried, we said we'd keep in touch. Didn't, of course, till summertime. Out to the beach to his boat, could I join him? No, this time it was me. Sunburn in the 3rd degree. Now the calendar's just one page. Of course I am excited. Tonight's the night I've set my mind not to do too much about it. Dashing through the snow, 'cause I bundled up too tight. Last minute, have to do a few cards, a few calls because it's RSVP. No thanks, no party lights, it's Christmas Eve. Gonna relax, turn down all of my advice. Last fall, I had a night to myself. Same guy called, Halloween party. Waited all night for him to show. This time his car wouldn't go. Forget it, it's cold, it's getting late. Trudge on home to celebrate in a quiet way. Unwind, doing Christmas right this time. A&P has provided me with the world's smallest turkey. Already in the oven, nice and hot. Oh damn, guess what I forgot? So on with the boots, back out in the snow to the only all-night grocery. When what to my wondering eyes should appear in the line is that guy I've been chasing all year. And in this one alone, he said, need a break this year's been crazy. I said, me too, but why are you? You mean you forgot cranberries too? Then suddenly we laughed and laughed, caught on to what was happening. That Christmas magic's brought this tale to a very happy ending.
I'm working like a my ass off.
I know.
Christmas stuff that, who gives a about Christmas stuff and decoration, but I need to do it, right?
RaiderFan Radio with you, baby! Happy New Year! Silver and Black New Year 2022 in the house! How's everybody doing? Raider Rob, the beautiful Black Hole Steph, and Stoner Dude, 420 in the house! And we hope you all are out there.
Happy New Year, happy holidays. I'm glad it's over.
Yes.
It's over.
2021, done.
Stop it.
Done.
Stop it.
Done.
I love it. It's all new.
Done.
22.
Done. It's been a while since we seen y'all. Hope you're doing well. Hope you've been well. Hope you've enjoyed this little run your team has been on. Let us know how you're doing. We're back in effect. RaiderFanRadio@gmail, of course.com. Hit us with your comments. Hold on, Stone's got his signs for the new year.
Oh, yeah, the email. Because we want your comments. We want you to contact us at RaiderFanRadio@gmail.com. We are going to have some new comment segments coming up this year in 22. We got a lot of new listeners and viewers.
Yeah.
We've got a plethora of viewers. How many viewers do we have? Or how many subscribers do we have?
That great number.
That I can get back to you later in the show.
Every time I tell you, you tell me I'm wrong.
It's at least 2,000.
At least.
It's 2,100 and something, I think.
2,100?
2,100 and something.
Well,
yeah.
we want more in 22.
2,100 and count.
More subscribers in 2022 here at Raider Fan Radio.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your uncle, tell your aunt, tell your grandma.
Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you hit the
That's what I was gonna
notification and then hit the little button so you get updates whenever we're doing a show. And this is our first one of 2022. So, again, good to see all of y'all out there. And, like Stone said, we got a lot to get to.
And technically, it's show number 29.
Yeah!
On YouTube.
29.
They said it would never happen.
A memorable year.
And as usual, as we always love to do,
Memorable number.
this is a segment that a lot of the Raiders fans, Raider Nation, just football fans and aficionados in general love, is when we talk about the numbers of the show.
Yes.
Number 29, the numbers of the Raiders who wore them.
Right.
And as usual, I like to introduce the great Raider Rob, his knowledgeable Raider Rob. Second only to the great Raider Mort, as I always say here on Raider Fan Radio, who, at least name off a couple, starting with you, one, the most notable number 29 for the Oakland, LA, or even Las Vegas Raiders.
Well, of course, it's the Los Angeles Raiders, and it's
course.
one of these players that we co-opted that played for other teams, but Al Davis had his thing about just taking another player from another team and saying, he's a Raider.
Yeah.
He's a Raider to hell with whoever else he played for.
Yeah,
he's a
even
Raider.
if you played with the Raiders for a game.
Yes.
But if you did it great, and you had
Yes.
a great name to go with it.
Yes.
Al
All
Davis
your-
said that you were once
Yes.
a Raider, always a Raider.
All your records, all your college
Everything
records.
belongs
When you
to
go to
us.
the Hall of Fame,
Yes.
it will be as a Raider.
You're a Raider. Whether you do or not, Al Davis would declare you're a Raider. But of course, it's the great Eric Dickerson. Number 29, of course, one of my all-time favorite players and one of the all-time great running backs, of
Yeah.
course. Set the single-season rushing record in his rookie year, 1983, when he came out of SMU, part of the Pony Express with Craig James. And, Eric Dickerson,
I remember when he was the
21-15.
phenom
Yeah.
in Los Angeles, living in Orange County, growing up in Orange County, going
Right.
in high school around that time in the early mid-'80s. Eric Dickerson was a phenom, man. And, of course, he went to the Indianapolis Colts after that. Or were they still the Baltimore Colts?
No, they were in
The
they were in
Indianapolis
Indianapolis,
Colts.
yeah.
a great Halloween day trade. Famous Halloween night trade he was traded. Yeah.
And it's I watch the Marcus Allen NFL Football Life all the time on the NFL Network. One of my favorite ones, of course. And Marcus Allen, no matter what, no matter how great he was and how good he, or the things that he did for the Raiders, how great of a Raider he was, Al Davis would still fuck with him. Obviously, he went out and got Bo Jackson, but even after that, he went and got Eric Dickerson.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
it was always to fuck with Marcus Allen in some way. But Al Davis wanted to win, and that was number one, of course.
Yeah.
But that's all it
he
took
was
for
a winner.
Mark. Here, all of a sudden, Eric Dickerson walks into the Raiders, and he's the guy.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
He's the
Well,
man.
he was the guy, and for 2 years he played for the Raiders, and of course, part of that again, collective of great players that Al Davis liked to collect and bring in and what have you, like Stone said, at Bo Jackson and Marcus Allen and Eric Dickerson. But he was towards the end of his career, not much production for us, but damn did he look good in silver and black.
Yeah, he did.
He looked good
Yeah,
with his roll bars, neck bar, and all that.
He
His
was one of the
goggles.
sexy Raiders, as we would say.
Right.
As the ladies would say.
That's
one
right.
of the sexy Raiders.
Now you had a thing back on our first incarnation of the show. It never
She
really
had a
got off
thing.
the ground, but
Right.
you were in the process of doing a segment was going to be what, the ass of fame?
It was called the Ass of Fame.
It was or it will be.
you know, it
Gonna
can still
resurrect
come in
it?
the future. It was. It was actually Raider Minx's idea.
Raider Minx, God
rest her. She came up with the Ass of Fame and won number 29. And these were the sexiest Raiders that we thought, you know, as ladies, and who had the best asses. And, you know, we could see those up close, too. I mean, we like to watch football because there are men out there playing, okay? And we like men. So as a result,
God love them all.
she came up with that. And there's a lot of them. One of them, number 29, that I have to mention she always thought was one of the sexiest Raiders, was Albert Lewis. He was number 29.
Oh, yeah, Albert Lewis.
Yes.
The former chief, the cornerback. I interviewed him once on Raider Talk Raw. Me and Mort had done a show way back in the late 90s. But yeah, Albert Lewis was cool. Elder statesman.
Yeah.
Came in and definitely had a great place in that early defense that we had that came back from L.A. He was
Right,
one of the
94,
corner pieces,
98.
centerpieces, and cornerstones of that defense. And also, well, Stone, do you got one?
Of course I got
Oh,
one.
okay,
I've
Stone's
two,
got one.
But I think one more important, the one that I'll at least say tonight is because we always love to, not love, sometimes we dedicate because we feel, well, respectful towards it. But
Yeah.
I always say the number 29, I think of Eric Turner.
Yeah.
Safety.
E.T.,
And he
baby.
wasn't originally 29. He was
E.T..
42.
Right.
For many years before he was 29.
Right.
And I don't know the exact story. Maybe you do, or someone out there can comment and tell me how he turned in number 29 as a safety for the Raiders. But while his tenure as a Raider and a very popular, well-known Raider, I happened to just move to the Bay Area in '98. And that was the year he died, or close to the year right around when he died.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'll never forget the number 29 on the back of all the helmets
The decal, yeah.
of all the Raiders players for years. And of course, that number is synonymous with him now because of that. So yeah, my number 29 is for the late great Eric Turner,
E.T., baby.
who died of sadly and tragically of stomach cancer at a very
Yes.
early age.
Yes,
Yeah.
very
Unexpectedly, I heard Lincoln Kennedy talk about him recently. But anyways, yeah,
He's a fan favorite, and he used to stop by the Black Hole when he would ride in. He had a yellow drop top Corvette that was sweet, and I at one point got into it with Jerry Porter years later.
Jerry Poison.
And when that whole thing was going down with Jerry Poison, and I made the mistake of telling them, yeah, man, I go back with you, man. I used to holler at you when you was a rookie, and you had the yellow Corvette. I ain't never had no yellow Corvette. And I realized after the fact it was Eric Turner that had the yellow Corvette. He used to stop by the hole at our tailgate on his way in, always in early.
Yeah.
Players used to arrive around 11:30. They started arriving to the Coliseum for 1 o'clock game. Eric Turner would be there about 9:30.
Ready
He'd
to
be
go.
one of the, along with Lincoln too. I got a picture of Lincoln. Me and Lincoln when he's coming in with his old Barrettes. I've showed it to him before when he had his burgundy Barrettes.
Yes. Yeah,
Cadillac
I remember
Barrettes.
that.
Lincoln was
Yeah.
styling. But Eric Turner, yes, good one, Stone. The
And we-
great E.T., yeah.
We can't not rest at number 29 without bringing up one of our favorites, which was Michael Bush. That was one
Yes.
of our running backs that
Michael
we loved
Bush,
that
right.
ended up, not being utilized the way he should have been utilized and shipped off to Chicago. I don't know what's up with the Raiders in Chicago and making, trades like that. There's another one that we know of. But
the
yeah.
Bears have never benefited of anything that we've given them.
No.
They didn't win while Michael Bush was there. They didn't win when Lamar Houston was there.
And winning with Khalil Mack.
And they haven't won now with Khalil Mack.
Right,
So
right.
fuck the Bears.
Yeah.
Who else can we send to you?
Right.
Derek Carr, baby!
Hey, Derek Carr, let's talk about that.
So this is Raider Fan Radio. We got a plethora of subjects to discuss this evening.
Yeah, one subject we got to discuss though. And before we go, I just got to get this out of the way. We haven't seen you guys in a while. We hope you all had a great holiday, Christmas season, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, silly season, whatever you want to call
Silly
it.
season.
We hope you got
I
what
like
you
silly
wanted.
season.
Hope you got what you wanted in your gifts and all that shit.
I
Of
got
course,
what
the
I
new
wanted.
year. Hope it'll be prosperous for all of you. But while we were away, we had a project that we were doing, and Uncle Raider Rob fucked it up. And so
Wait. Let's go further than that. If you're gonna say you fucked it up. Uncle Stoner, dude,
Uncle Stoner
created a masterpiece.
Yes.
For you,
Yes.
the Raider Nation and fans
All of you
across
out
the
there,
world.
Turkey, France. Yes.
hours and hours of preparation, production. Hey, if you're gonna put me on the spot to talk about it, I'm gonna talk about it. But we know sometimes in the world of production and engineering and
Media.
and pressing the buttons,
Yeah.
sometimes they just don't get done exactly like they should be. That was someone else's job to do. But what doesn't kill us makes us stronger.
Yeah.
And we're here for more.
So I've got to apologize, though, right here publicly. I want to apologize to the people that put in a lot of work, because you guys see us three. Sometimes we have guests on and all that. But there's a lot of people behind the scenes that really make Raider Fan Radio go and who are great contributors to the show. So apologies to Shannon. Dear Shannon, putting up with the smoke and all that. Love you. I apologize.
She almost died. She lost her body on the life.
Oh, God.
She almost died.
Worse. The great Dino Mudd, of course, one of the founders of the show. It was always great when he can show
Dino
up.
Mudd was brilliant, but you'll never know.
Hopefully we'll see him later in the season. Chris Poncherelli, who is always down for us, man, has our back, man. Chris P, thank you so much. Victoria Vox and Abby, both of them. We apologize greatly.
No, you apologize greatly.
And I apologize. And of course, to Michael Mason, that Stoner Dude 420, and the beautiful Black Hole Steph. I am so sorry, my colleague.
Hey, well.
For damn near fucking up Christmas.
All is forgiven. Yes, you fucked up Christmas, but we still had Christmas anyways. And now again, we're still here, show number 29. We're picking up where we left off. We're moving forward. And what's most importantly, at this point of this juncture moment in time, is that the Las Vegas Raiders, for their first time in their history, and for a first time in a long time, are now in the actual playoff hunt. And playing significant football in January.
Playoffs? You kidding me?
3-game winning streak to get to this point of some
Well, I think we were in the hunt.
Of some serious fugly football along the
Yeah.
way. Don't get me wrong.
I think we were in the hunt last year, though, when certain person pulled a dick muscle.
Yeah, that's true.
I think we might have been in the hunt, but
But this is January.
your point is taken, yes.
January.
Your point is taken. Since we were gone, the Raiders played Washington, Cleveland, KC, Denver. How did we get here? Well, they split those games. Of course, last time we had seen you was just before Thanksgiving. They went in there and beat Dallas on a Carlson kick at the end that won it in
Turkey
regulation.
leg, that's my nickname for Daniel. Daniel Turkey Leg Carlson.
Turkey leg, yeah.
Go get that turkey leg at the end of every game. Just go win that turkey leg.
An early rescheduled game against the Cleveland Browns. That was pivotal. They went into Cleveland and won that. And, again, going up against Denver, Daniel Carlson again. And then this past week, by the time you see this, Daniel Carlson again. Okay, in Indianapolis, beating the Colts, who had been on a run when we went into Indianapolis this past weekend, when y'all see that. So between those 5 games, since we last saw y'all, the Raiders have put themselves primely sitting, in a good place to be the owners of their own destiny.
Not only a good place
to get into the playoffs.
We're talking last game of the season, game 17, at home in Las Vegas at the Death Star. This is a playoff game to go to the playoffs.
Yes.
Against the AFC West division rivals, the San Diego Chargers of Los Angeles. To put all those things in perspective, to come up with this big dramatic moment of football that the whole nation is now
turn the power off.
Glued to flex to Sunday night.
Decharge them.
We'll see you Sunday night.
Unbolt them.
I'm gonna tailgate. I'll see you at the tailgate.
Wow.
Yeah,
You're gonna
I'll be eating ribs.
You're gonna
drinking
tailgate where?
beers. I'm partying in the J lot at the Death Star, the Allegiant Stadium.
All right.
Yeah, come on. Look. We've been talking for years. We've been doing Raider Fan Radio.
Yes.
This is the most significant week of football we've had since the fucking Super Bowl. Name me a more significant game today.
Last year when we played San Diego and your quarterback pulled his dick bone. No, this is a big game. It's like you said, it's January. And it is...
It's January because we're playing more games.
Right. Well, that's intentional.
The winner goes to the playoffs.
The winner gets in.
The winner takes on.
Although we may need still some little help, but we damn sure
we need all the help we can get. We gotta win.
Beat out San Diego. We're primed. But of course, we could have ran away with this weeks ago, but that's neither here or there. It's been a tough year for the Raiders. I do have to give it up for you guys for fighting through so much adversity, as we've mentioned on the show throughout the season.
You mean the players or the
players? The players, yeah, both. But with Gruden, with the Henry Ruggs situation, and
David Arnett,
Richie Bisaccia, getting his footing and trying to get himself acclimated to taking over, becoming head coach for the first time. With all that going on, Waller being injured, and then some of the spotty play of Derek Carr.
Kenyon Drake,
Kenyon Drake.
Now Jonathan Abram.
The Raiders have still maintained that scrappy attitude they had those first 4 weeks when the season started, and we could see a little bit of the character and identity of the team.
Oh, don't use that word.
What word?
He's using character, and that's something that Derek Carr, after the last loss, was saying that that's what these games do, is they help the Raiders build character. We're too late in his career to be building character. We should know what to do when we're on the field. We should know that we want to attack. We should know that we need to dominate. And the truth is, we have not been able to dominate because we haven't been able to score touchdowns, and we get really kind of shaky in the red zone repeatedly. But
but we're here.
Hopefully you shake that off. Yeah, and we're here, and it should be, celebrated and congratulated. But forgive me for being melodramatic about it. I mean, it's just like I've been down this road, dramatic. And I don't have the people in power that I would like to see in power, particularly of the offensive line, the offensive coordinator. Bisaccia looks like a hostage on the sideline for the most part. And last week they gave him props. I mean, this week he has bigger props, but it seemed like he never had anything in his hand. He was kind of looking down.
Well, he's got his little sheet there.
Look, last year the Washington football the Washington football team got in the playoffs with like 5 wins or something like that, something ridiculous. 5 or 6.
Well, they had a terrible division, though.
Right.
But my point being is that when you get to that point, though, as a fan, for me, anyways,
yes.
I understand everything you're saying. I'm watching the Raiders play, and I'm thinking to myself, they make it to the playoffs, but they don't look like a playoff team.
Playoffs? Are you kidding me?
I don't know how to be any more
playoffs?
Right,
don't talk about it. Playoffs?
Right.
You kidding me?
They have had
playoffs
good games this year.
Right.
That one playoff game could be that good game.
Right.
And they got there.
Right.
So that's
what
what
you can't fall
and we get
into
another week of football and fun to be hanging out with all the fans at the stadium and things like that here in Las Vegas.
That's true, but
I will
can't
take it.
Take it, love it, but again, can you do that and fall into a Super Bowl?
No.
You can fall into the playoffs, but can you fall into the championship?
Carr's been playing 50-50 football, and it's great that he's got the 3rd most passing yards this season so far, and he's padding his stats. But for me, he's cheaply padding his stats.
Cheaply?
So at the end of all this bullshit, he will be considered, or will be, if he's not already, the all-time leading passer in Raider history. And I think that he's getting it on the cheap. 4 and 3 and 5 yard dunk passes and shit, that just, get him at 5 of 6 or 9 of 10. It's
still no first
with
down.
Only 8 80 yards and no TD.
Right.
It's just padding it. This is Tony Romo 2.0.
It sure is.
And he's just been being given a pass.
Right.
Because he's a nice guy, because he is a serviceable, mediocre but productive quarterback stat-wise. Again, it's still about elevating the rest of the team.
Right.
You can look
Leadership.
great in spots. It's like being a binge drinker. You're drunk in spots. You're looking great. You're drunk with power in spots and with consistency in spots, and it all looks good cumulatively.
Right.
But consistency throughout the game and it being the staple where people are out there fearful of you.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Is not what it is.
Right.
There's going to be more fear going into this week's game with Justin Herbert and what this kid in his second year has been able to produce.
Right.
And how, again, he's got that killer instinct. Carr gets put in a position where if he succeeds, it looks like he killed.
Right.
As opposed to he took the team to that situation.
Right.
Even though he led them this past week and a couple weeks ago and Carlson hits the field. That's Carlson winning it.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, you may have put him in a position.
They got in the 2-minute drill this last game, the last couple
But like you said, you're not getting to the Super Bowl just by getting them in the position. We all remember what happened when Jim Kelly got Scott Norwood one time in position against the Giants, and it was wide right. Okay, and shit like that. So, again, we've been going back and forth, you carholics and myself, who is not a car fan, of course, as you all know that by now, and if you don't, now you know.
But what you did, see is a lot more Carrion.
You did. You
did, right?
Yeah, you did.
Carrion is now taking over the nation.
Yeah.
Right.
And Derek Carr will friggin' crawl through mud in Harlem in a rainstorm, shot twice. To get back on the field, let Mariota have 2 plays in a row.
Okay? He does get he gets beat up for the game.
Yeah.
He will get beat up for the game.
Yeah.
And that's why, look, I said he was make or break at the beginning of the year, and I've been a big Carr fan, and I've already even said here on Raider Fan Radio that my prediction is that he'll be a New Orleans Saint for the reasons I've said then on our last show. But the point being is that if I can get that last couple of plays out of him, the last shred on the tire.
You can get that good.
If I could get that last shred on the tire out of Derek Carr to get me at least into the
that last step on your brakes before they start crunching.
Yes. We'll take it, man.
Well,
go get him, Carr. Go get him, Derek Carr.
I'm not going to front. He is playing good at the expectations that his fan base and his following, his flock, expect of him.
Right.
He has been doing that. But again, it's 50-50.
I'm more excited about and happy about, which I haven't been probably since Warren Sapp and Derek Burgess played for the Raiders and Tommy Kelly. But it's been that long since I actually liked our defense.
Oh, yeah.
And it's because of the defense that Derek Carr's even got this far.
Right. Yeah, the defense has been balling out.
The defense has been making plays.
They've been balling out.
They've been dealing with injuries, guys being in and out.
Right.
Rod Marinelli's, I think, has done an awesome job of rotating the line. Solomon Thomas, Quentin Jefferson.
Right. Garrett Phelan.
It's awesome.
Right.
And even Cleveland Farrell makes a play once in a while. He's not a bust. He's still out there playing football.
He's productive, but the bookends, again, that we've been talking about all season.
Godwin
and Crosby, good God, man.
They are on
They've
fire.
Been smash-mouthing. Perryman has been an anchor for that linebacking core along with Lee. Our defensive backs have been playing much comparable, minimizing mistakes and penalties, and I know everybody likes to make a big deal about just the Raiders and penalties, no matter how many they are.
Right.
But they haven't really been costly.
Right.
The last 5 games.
Yes.
There have been some assignments blown that has cost us in the past 5 games, but it hasn't been due to just mental lapses.
Right.
It's
true.
more about play on the field. And speaking of play on the field, Nate Hobbs, we hope he's all right. This recently, as of last night, coming back from Indianapolis, is news breaking here in Las Vegas. By the time y'all see this, you'll be known about it, but he was found in the parking garage of the Cromwell, trying to go to Drace, where the hip-hoppers are, down on Flamingo and LVB, in his car at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Sleep, knocked out, was arrested for DUI here by Metro. And so Nate Hobbs, feeling himself, number 39.
I have to say, I've done that many.
Many times? You've been at the Cromwell,
no.
drunk?
Well, first of all, yes, I've been
knocked out in the car, trying to hang out with the sisters at Drace?
I've spent the night at the Cromwell.
Oh.
But as far as the
RaiderFan Radio exclusive.
As far as passing out of my car drunk, I've done that many times.
Yeah.
I'm glad and happy that he didn't go out and drive.
Yeah.
Maybe it was on purpose. Maybe it was the fact that he just passed out and the right time to not
if you're
drive.
at the Cromwell, it's on purpose, pal.
My point being is that that he lived and survived it. And he'll learn from this.
Didn't murder anybody.
I have a good, strong feeling that Nate Hobbs is going to learn from it. Because when you do that a time or two in your life, I know I did it many times. I didn't learn so good for a while. But Nate Hobbs is under a different microscope than I was at his age.
Yeah.
He's got the whole world looking at him. No one gave a fuck if I passed out.
Well,
in
like
my
Steph
car.
just said, in light of
or any other kid out there.
In light of what happened earlier this season with Henry Ruggs and the loss of Tina Trenner, who we continue to mourn. Tina Tintor. You've got to, again, be more smarter.
Yeah.
He's a kid. He's a kid.
No, he's not a kid. He's a grown man. These guys are grown men.
Dumb fucking
I know we're older and we, off the cuff call them kids, but
I really would suggest this. Get a hotel room at the Cromwell.
Right?
And just sleep it off and then leave. You can afford it. Second thing you can do, if you're going to fall asleep in your car drunk, get in the passenger seat. Because, I mean, your intent is not to drive. If you're in the passenger seat or the back seat of your car asleep, you can't be arrested for that. But if you're in the driver's seat...
pillows and blankets in my car.
Yeah, you know, he could afford to get a room. But, again, that's for anybody with drunk driving or driving under the influence. If you're going to fall asleep in your car, and Vegas is hardcore about that drinking and driving, fall asleep in the passenger or back seat. I mean, clearly he was in the position where he was...
Clearly you've done this before.
I have, but, you know, he was in the position where he was about to drive or could have driven.
Right.
So, you know, you have to be thinking about all of that when you're out there.
He needs just some good counseling right now to get over this and get through this. Pin his eyes back, make him stare at those burning cars or the accidents and things that happen to other Raiders and players, and just have someone sit with him and work with him.
Right.
Because
that's what
they need to do. I don't think
we got a big game coming up Sunday.
We talked about that, but we talked about that with some of the other players.
Yeah.
As far as life lessons, you know, how there isn't that
person,
that situation, that job or responsibility of somebody to look after these players.
Well, again, back to the profession. These are professional football players. You got a game, big game Sunday, as we've mentioned. You guys have mentioned playoff implicated game.
It's a playoff game.
You know, so
I call it a playoff game.
You got to be smarter a week out. That's all. The bottom line. High profile city. It's a high profile team now, more than it was in Oakland. You know,
it's easy to fall into the idea that you can still get away with that shit because you know that your heroes and your idols did too.
Yeah.
It's still a rock star mentality from a musician's point of view, being a young musician growing up, and you see a lifestyle and the things that come with it, and the fun and the partying and the chicks and whatever. You even though you know. And when you're put in it, in the situation, all of a sudden all bets are off.
Like we said years ago, when we saw the transition of the sports athlete being recognized more as an entertainer too. You know, now you've got these athletes who come in as athletes, but are thrust into the world of fame and celebrity that is usually reserved for musicians and the Hollywood movie stars.
Right.
And they don't quite know how to handle that side of it. Right. The PR side of that game. And also having, like Stone said, the decision making. Right. You know, and understanding. Hey,
especially when you're
I'm a
drunk.
Celebrity now.
Right.
Yeah, particularly I'm driving.
If you are drinking, you're not making the right decisions.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm with Steph. Get a room, man. You got the money.
That's the bottom line. Get a room.
Get a room and get a chick. And kick it.
He can afford a harem.
Yes.
Coming in at 24/7.
Right.
Rotating harems. Rotating harems. Chicks. Harems.
Yes.
And he can just sit there at the Cromwell in the suite and hook himself up, man. That's way more rock stars.
Man, what are y'all as a lighter thief?
That's way more rock stars than just hanging out and getting drunk and sleeping in your car.
That's true. Well, I don't want to be a downer on the Raider Nation, of course, or the Las Vegas Raider team. Heading to the playoffs, of course, I'm going to root for my team.
But you're going to?
But I am also realistic about what personnel we have and its influence on our bottom line. And really, the bottom line of any team in the NFL should be a championship. It shouldn't be just the getting in the playoffs. It should be about winning and dominating for us.
If things go the right way, you may see a championship-threatening team. I mean, they're playing steady. The playoffs, of course, is a different level of football going in, and you've got some competition, the AFC West, that you have to go up against that don't bode well for us with the emergence in New England, with Mac Jones doing well the last 6 weeks, which you've had happen with Kansas City, turning it on after beating us 5 weeks ago. They won 6 in a row, and then you got Buffalo back in the mix with my boy Josh Allen from the University of Wyoming, and the Bills Mafia just pushing that team forward. And so, for me, get in the playoffs. It'd be great for all you fans, and just for the drought that it has been the last 6 years, and see what this team can do and see what Carr can do being in a playoff situation. Sure, that's all great to look at, but when it comes for the other side, the business of sports, when it comes to the NFL and its bullshit,
right?
For me,
politics,
with the possibility of having to play Kansas City in a playoff game, Buffalo in a playoff game, back in Buffalo, or even New England. The refs are not going to allow for us to just
They're not going to be
beat
on our
either
side.
three of those teams. They're not going to be. So that's something that, they need to know going in. When we do make it to the playoffs, whoever our opponent is, you're going to have to play your best football in 2021.
Right.
Period. And you're going to have to play above and beyond, just playing for 3.
Right,
or playing to win by 7,
right.
and all this, trying to come back.
They did that at the end of this last game.
Yes.
Yeah, you could have scored a touchdown. You all the way up, as far as you can go. 2 seconds left.
Even though the Zebras tried to screw us at the end when they
did. They did, but if you score touchdowns definitively, it takes the Zebras' possibility of robbing you away a little bit less. It's going to make it a little bit less.
Yeah, it's going to be hard on them. Anyway, hey, here in Las Vegas, leading up to this big weekend, and we're debating ourselves, we may or may not do a live show for the game that night. It's a flex game. It's been moved to NBC for the night game on Sunday Night Football. So we're still debating this here. We'll let you folks know. Make sure you stick and stay on our Facebook, our IG, and just right here. And you'll get the notification if we decide to do that. But in the interim, here in Vegas, it will be partying. It will be going down Saturday, January 8th, if you're in town. The Raider Nation Party, all right, hosted and featuring special guest Raider Too Short. All right, will be happening downtown at the Fremont Country Club in conjunction with the Raider Crusaders. All right, and that will be Section 105 Media Network starring Oakland Raider Savage. Okay, we've also going to have Vanessa Navarrete from the Austin Black Hole chapter. Okay, the Phoenix chapter president, Mad Max.
Right,
he'll be there. And, of course, Douglas Sheffield, president of Austin chapter, better known as Raider Homer. At the Fremont Country Club, downtown Las Vegas. The Raider Nation Party, Too Short, will be the special guest and the host of that party. A lot of Raider Nation alum will be there, ex-players and what have you. And that's in conjunction, as we said, with the Section 105 Media Network and the Black Hole Chapter Austin, starring Raider Homer. So if you're in town, check that out.
He's a hard-working dude. He's out there making it happen.
Yeah, he be hustling, man.
I discovered him.
Yes, and brought him to us, Raider Homer. Yes.
He discovered himself first. I discovered him later.
And we'll
now he's he's the world's famous Raider Homer.
Yes, he is.
He is.
Doing big parties in Vegas? Man, look at this dude.
Hey.
Is he going to wear the big yellow Homer hat, I hope? Because sometimes he doesn't wear it, and I get very disappointed.
Yes.
Gorilla Rilla has a commitment, and I just saw him this last week, and we talked again, because he always thanks me for insisting that he keeps the mean gorilla face.
Right.
And we talk about it all the time, and how he's maintained that gorilla face all these years. And he's always out there full force. He's in a Santa suit. He's in a gorilla suit with a Santa suit on the top of it.
I love it.
So I need to see some. I'm sure there will be. There'll be a lot of pictures of Raider Homer hanging out at the party on a Saturday night.
That's right.
Yes, it's going down.
You never saw Gorilla Rilla's face.
Now, if you haven't done it yet and are planning on it, hope we catch you in time. But from what I'm hearing and what I found out from some folks that I know here in Vegas, from the Miles to Memory show here in Vegas.
Isn't there usually music behind any kind of commercials or plugs?
YouTube channel here, Miles to Memories, Vegas, is advising people not to fuck with the Allegiant Vacations package for games here in Las Vegas. All right, the report is they don't deliver on the ticks that you are selected, or 2 or 3 complaints over the last couple of home games where these people signed up, Raider fans, for a package through Allegiant Vacations and didn't get what they signed up for. They got a package where they were supposed to be in the 200 section. Get to Allegiant, it's the 400 section.
Oh.
They
sold them lies?
Yeah, lies!
Lies!
Booked them in a certain room, say a suite.
Yeah.
And you end up with a junior one bed, a junior twin.
That's the old bait and switch.
Bait and switching, baby.
That's the bait and switch.
Bait and switching there, pals.
Shouldn't do that.
That's what's up with that. So everybody, just be aware. This is from Miles to Memories YouTube channel here. Just warning everybody. And wanted to pass it on. What's up, Miles to Memories? That be careful with the Allegiant Vacations Raider football packages.
And really
They're
all
sketchy,
of them.
man.
Yeah,
They're
really
questionable.
all of them. Yeah, and a lot of fans are, have put their tickets up for sale for various reasons throughout the season. We've gone over all of them here at RaiderFan Radio from, all the way up to show 28. So, I would be careful and beware of the bait and switch. And people are more apt to do that now. A lot of these people, travel places are desperate because they don't know if your flight's going to even go through.
Right?
They don't know, what's really going to be available because really the casinos are managing all of that. And these people are buying these packages from them. So it is third party. You should be careful of that.
This is another episode or show. We call ourselves shows, right? We used to be episode.
Right.
As I recall. When did we turn from episode?
We were always shows when we came back.
We
came back. We shows.
We came back.
Everybody else is doing episodes.
We're
bigger than that.
We were episode first, and then everybody copying us and became episode.
Right. Yeah.
And we had to drop the episode, and then we became show.
Right.
I just want to make sure on a production level that's what we did. I never got the memo.
Yay.
Nobody fucking told me. All right, but
you gotta check your emails, chum.
And this portion of this show of RaiderFan Radio on YouTube is brought to you by the new Stoner Dude coloring book.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's right, you.
Flying off the shelves.
Go to stonerdudeart.com. That's the website you go to right now. Press pause. Go right there. And go pick yourself up the new Stoner Dude coloring book for all you artists, coloring aficionados, folks who just like to hang out with colored pencils and crayons and watercolors. I've colored a couple pages myself. But there's
that looks nice.
24 pages of awesome Stoner Dude art. This is one I spent a little time on. And ultimately, you can go pick one up at stonerdudeart.com. And color your brains out.
Yeah, color your brains out, baby. Just color, baby.
Speaking of coloring books and comic books and cartoons, over the holiday, I did finally get the chance to go see the new Spider-Man movie. I am a comic book.
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can.
So the new Spider-Man movie's out. It had all three Spider-Mans from the different Spider-Man universe. They're taking it into a whole new multiverse, various storyline plots. And I was very wary of that because as a traditional, someone who loves stories and the way they are supposed to be.
You're a purist.
Yeah.
I'm a purist.
You're a purist.
I like to know that this is the story, we're sticking with it, and we're building upon it. But with this new multiverse in the comic book world, they're branching out as if anything could happen. There's another Spider-Man in another universe. This one's black.
Oh no.
This one's a robot. This one's a
leave us out.
This one's a chick. No. There's a lot. Well, as a matter of fact, they think about that when I go to the what do you call it, the premieres of the shows.
Yeah.
I go to the late night shows too, and it's mostly black kids dressed as Spider-Man.
Wow.
Going to go see Spider-Man.
Wow.
So you know that Spider-Man obviously transcends generations and everything in the whole entire universe.
Oh yeah.
And that was the fun part of it. But they did a great job, and they're doing a really great job with this new storytelling, this new visual. The fact that you can now see Dr. Octopus or these characters on the screen and it look real.
Yeah.
And they're doing destruction just like they would do in the comic books. I mean, they're terrorizing the cities like Godzilla would with destruction everywhere. And it looks fucking awesome. All right? When you see Spider-Man out there going through the buildings, whipping his webs and swinging around, you're convinced finally in this new era of movie making with the Marvel Comics that it looks real and that's Spider-Man.
Interesting. And it looks real. The digital didn't come off as...
The CGI is not too much.
No, it's not. It's
not
believable.
Overwhelming.
It's believable.
Wow.
It's
Good,
believable.
good,
It's like, that's what I'm saying. It looks so
Okay.
spectacular. It takes you into it's a reality you can embrace, like it's really happening.
Yeah.
So go check out the new Spider-Man for all you comic book geeks. But we also got some other things to talk about tonight. And from what I understand, it has a lot to do with the education system.
Yeah, the education. Speaking of superheroes, we debated on the show a few shows back. I don't know.
We
show
debated?
27, 26.
What did we debate? I don't remember.
We were talking about black colleges, and Stone posed the question at the time.
We went from black Spider-Man to black colleges.
Yes, Stone posed the question on that show, if many of you out there remember, if white people could go to HBCUs, historically black college universities.
They can.
Of course they can.
I just assumed
They've been going for years.
if they were black
But
colleges.
Mr. Surf Boy here from the beach.
The reason, back to the purists in me, my thought was that if it's a black college, it became a black college for a reason. Because they couldn't go to other colleges, right?
Yeah,
Something like
I'm
that.
trying to learn history here. So the blacks, they couldn't go to the white colleges, so they had to start a black college.
right.
Right? Am I right?
Right.
Yes.
So from that point on now, and I imagine all the hard work
Look,
and the dedication.
they couldn't go. It's like, no, we were being kept from going.
But I'm saying you made your own college.
Right,
That
right.
was the solution.
Right.
To make a black college. So now that you got your black college and you've got your famous black college.
Yes, we
You-
do.
you
Now that
got-
we got them.
you got-
now that we've had them over 100
You got your
years.
alumni, right? You got your black alumni.
Yeah,
You
black,
got all-
black cheerleaders.
You got
black
all those things
bands.
together. Now all of a sudden, white people are allowed just to walk right in on that after they fucking told you couldn't go on the college in the first place.
Well, we have to be benevolent in our education and teaching higher learning. And the black community for years and years and years have been trying
Higher
to teach
learning?
you
Oh,
white
so
folks
that-
our history. And so we figured,
Whether they like it or not.
yeah, we figured if we open up the schools, you know, you guys could come in and learn and get an education too, because a lot of white folks
Come in and learn.
get rejected.
So, you know, that's very
get
magnanimous.
rejected from traditional colleges too.
That's very
You know?
magnanimous.
Yeah, it's all about integration, baby.
If you remember A Different World with Lisa Bonet, there was a white
She
chick
gave me a bone egg.
on there. I think it's Marissa Tomei that
She gave me a tomei.
that played one of the white characters going to a black college
Right.
on A Different World.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we were letting
I
it
wasn't
be known
in tune.
then.
So Stone, of course, the answer was,
Well,
of
it gives
course,
me hope.
white folks could go to a black college, and one white person
You
who
and Jesse Jackson.
enrolled in the black college, Grambling State, because that was the one that we told Stone pick one, and we told Stone Grambling. They'd love you at Grambling.
That's the one I know about.
Yeah, that was the one Stone is familiar with.
That's the one Hugh
Famous-
Jackson just went to go coach, right?
Right,
right,
the
you're
famous Grambling State University.
love you, Hugh.
Well, this past football season, before Hugh Jackson got there, his predecessor led them, of course, to not Celebration Bowl, but the Bayou Classic.
Okay,
the
yeah, love the
famous
Classic.
Bayou Classic in
Homecoming.
black college football. That's like the Rose Bowl equivalent to
See,
that.
I didn't even know
or
that.
something like
Yeah.
that.
I gotta know that if I go to the college, right?
Yeah, you
gotta
should know that.
Well, I'm learning.
So South Carolina State played Grambling. It was a tight game. I watched it. Great festive atmosphere in New Orleans, as always. The bands got down at halftime and all that. This great black historical game happening with one of the coaches playing in like historic 300 and something game or something, and he's poised to win a record if he wins it. All these subplots going on. But at the end of the game, it came down to a field goal. And just like great movies that are set in the ghetto, and a certain savior comes and gets the school together, gets through to the thugs, and makes them care about their lives.
How do I reach these kids?
We know them as the white savior.
Yeah.
Well, at Grambling State,
Wait, like the White Shadow?
yeah, like the White
White
Shadow.
Shadow.
Ken Howard, God bless him. The great savior for the Grambling State, South Carolina, the Grambling State Southern game, none other than Gary Urban, a white place kicker, winning for Grambling at the buzzer for the Black Bayou Classic in New Orleans. So keep your eye on Urban. He's the Seabass, the Sebastian Janikowski
Wait, what's his
of
name?
black
What's
college
his name
football.
again?
Gary Urban.
Gary
Okay, his
Urban.
picture.
Urban.
Urban? Like he's
Keith
Urban?
Urban, yeah. His picture will pop up here. Yeah, he won it.
Wow.
So it was just irony. It's a follow-up to the thing that we had with Stone. That
Yeah.
bit where, he's talking about, can white people, and it's like, yeah, they can. They can even win
There's not only
a classic football game.
He's a star.
Wow.
He's a star.
He's a star.
He had all kind of black pussies being thrown at him that night. All kind of LaQuishas.
Where's
and
Grambling?
LaShawn
Where's
Gilligan.
Grambling?
Grambling is down in Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Yes. Monroe, Louisiana. Monroe, Louisiana. So anyway, congratulations to Graham. That was a few weeks ago, but I just wanted to get back to that because Stone had wondered. And now you see your energy rubbed off. Just you thinking about going to Grambling.
Off a lot.
Yeah, you're in more ways than one. And then a white guy ended up winning it for Grambling for a black cop.
Well, good for the white guy.
Good for white. The white savior rides it again.
Just like Jim Belushi and the principal.
Yeah, that too. I was thinking about that too.
Yes. I'll bet that'd be a good segment for the future. The whites, and maybe you have a couple right now. Who were all the other white saviors? Who were the
Michelle Pfeiffer
and
Criminal.
Oh yeah, didn't Goldie Hawn do it?
Goldie Hawn.
That was just football.
Goldie Hawn and Wildcats.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
She had to put Wesley Snipes in his place, as I recall.
Right.
Young Wesley Snipes.
Young
Good
Wesley.
thing he didn't stay in his place.
She fucking took care of that dude.
Man, I don't know. I think one of the saviors, a lot of the saviors that some of the ones that we've lost just recently.
Yeah, well, we definitely have tonight on Raider Fan Radio, as we do all the time for many years, for 20 years now, we dedicate our show to those who have passed on in this past year or recently, or that just straight up died. But anyways, point being is that they're gone now, and we remember them, we think about them all the time. And we have a humongous monstrosity of a dedication tonight. But Raider Rob, you had a few honorable mentions.
Yeah, some mentions. Again, the year starting off here, 2021 and ending 2020, some notable losses of people that very impactful in our social and pop culture, entertainment, and music. First one I want to recognize is Michael Naismith of the Monkees. And that was, of course, a great 60s TV show, comedy with Peter Tork, Mickey Dolenz, who was the last monkey, I think, still alive.
He's the last of the monkeys.
Yeah, he's the last, and Davy Jones. And they were, of course, it was a show about a rock band back in the 60s, lived on the beach in California, had a cool monkey mobile GTO car, but they were patterned after the Beatles, and it was a great show about all their mishaps and different craziness that they went through being these up-and-coming, rising, popular rock stars. And so Michael Naismith, he was always, though, the more intellectual and also the more experimental.
He was the quiet
of the
one.
four. He was the quiet one, but a great musician, worked in a lot of soundtracks to the 80s and 90s, a producer, and just an all-around real music head, and very diverse musician. So we say so long to the great monkey, the quiet monkey, Michael Naismith. Also, we lost Max Julian just recently, a few days ago, 88 years old. For those of you that are in the black cinema, better known as blaxploitation movies, and those of you that are in the pimp gang, players and hustlers and hoes and all that, the template for that game.
Are you a player and a hustler?
I used to be. I am retired now.
Retired? Player,
baby.
There's no
Hustler.
R. I swear.
Player, baby.
Remember.
What you saying, solid?
There's no R.
Ooh,
It's
daddy.
playa.
It's playa, baby.
Like playa, like the beach.
No, nothing like playa.
Spelled like that phonetically.
That's how I know it.
Max Julian, who played Goldie the
Yes.
Pimp in the classic black cinema movie The Mac, passed away over the weekend, and he also played in a number of different comedies, black comedies, but he was the Mac, and he was the star of the movie that became the playbook for all aspiring pimps going forward. Based in Oakland, California, and based off the Ward brothers, which was a famous trio of brothers in Oakland who were pimps back in the day. So Max Julian is gone. Also, we say goodbye to our hip-hop pioneer, the Kango Kid, from the group UTFO, who, of course, rose to fame off of their song Roxanne, Roxanne, back in 1982.
I want to be your
We'll be
man.
talking about 82 in a moment here, but yeah, we want to say goodbye to Kango Kid, 55 years old, unfortunately had a battle with cancer over the last 5 years, and he passed away. And a legendary,
Shocking.
a woman who, I read a headline today that said she was always on TV. And when you think of syndication, the number of shows she was on, and just the way TV rotated it once cable became a big thing. Yeah, I kind of think back to it. There wasn't a time where I wouldn't flip the channels and wouldn't see her.
Yeah.
And a woman who's been revered, what we like to use sometimes loosely as this country, as national treasures. She truly was a national treasure as a Hollywood actress and entertainer. The great Betty White passed away. Some people would say finally.
I know.
And some of us would say too soon, because she was a great inspiration.
Especially because you do have a certain thing for the elderly ladies.
Yeah, well, not that old, Stone.
Where's your cutoff? Wait. I got that question.
I'm 55 now.
Where does the elderly
80
age start
now.
for them? Where's
80
the
now.
starting age for them?
60 to 80 now, because I'm 55.
60 to 80.
Yeah.
What was she, 95? You wouldn't even do that.
She was 99.
If you're going to wait that long and go 80, you wouldn't at least help a 99-year-old out?
No.
You wouldn't at least help him out?
No.
I mean, come on.
No.
You wouldn't just take care of him?
With all due respect, that's a little too brittle, baby.
He's 99 years old, though.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know your stats.
99 years old, of course, started on the Mary Tyler Moore show for years and years and years back in the 70s. That's where I first, of course, saw her and grew up with. And she'd be on different appearances on stuff like Love American Style. And
everything.
Love Boat. Commercials. Of course, Golden Girls in the late 80s and through the 90s and what have you. And what was the movie? Lake Placid. That's a crazy movie. She's in that, the supernatural thriller movie from the 2000s, and just recently, in the last 10 years, just constantly revered for her longevity.
Yeah.
And became even more of a pop culture icon for just surviving as long as she has.
Right.
So anyway,
2 weeks before her 100th birthday.
Right, Betty Wright. A send off to you, lady. Thank you for all the great times on TV. You were a great actress, funny actress, and as that headline said today, always on TV. She was a true TV icon. So, And then our unfortunate big dedication.
The dedication. Let's get it straight. This is the Big Kahuna.
Big Kahuna.
That was always my nickname for him as far as the Raiders go and what he meant to the Raiders. But by now, of course, the whole entire world knows that JohnMadden died just a few days ago, right after Christmas. And I woke up early. Rarely on Christmas, I woke up at least early enough to make sure I saw the JohnMadden Christmas documentary. Even though it was the same things I've heard over and over and over. I know all the stories back and forth. It's still, because it was Madden, it just gave me that reason to turn the TV on Christmas because I love Madden so much.
Right.
And then I would never have imagined, and I was thinking to myself, wow, Madden's still here. Like, he's 85, and here's Madden still around. And I was just happy for that feeling. And then a few days later, of course, it was a shock to everybody, but not a shock. He was 85 years old, of course. But everybody loved JohnMadden, man. He was everybody's uncle, family member, friend, buddy, all those things put together over the years. But my first original iconic visual that stuck in my head was at 8 years old of JohnMadden on the shoulders of the Oakland Raiders in Super Bowl 11, beating the Minnesota Vikings. I was a little kid, just really starting to kind of get to even know what football, what it was, how significant of a game it was for everybody.
Right.
I was just learning, from my dad and older people in my life. But anyways, and then of course he goes on to become a celebrity you would never have imagined, to really pretty much take over the world. He's like the Beatles. His existence changed the world in so many ways.
Yeah.
For me, I use those comparisons, or something of that big, of that magnitude, of what he meant to football, to generations, to fans. I'll never forget the first time I ever saw that chalkboard. I'm always showing you that I'm an artist and I draw cartoons. And being a young kid, seeing JohnMadden on there, he's a Raider, and he's been on commercials and Saturday Night Live and all these things. To be there just scribbling away on the TV like that for the first time, I was mesmerized, because it was never done before, especially from a guy like him that was a coach who would show you. Would
as first generation fans from Oakland, our memories, of course, at least for me, go back to 1972 when we got robbed in Pittsburgh, and everybody was in an uproar in Oakland about that, and even that early after the game, a few hours afterwards.
What was that like? Take me to the feeling of being fucked.
Were talking about,
because of the Immaculate
and
Reception.
I remember the adults talking about, the anger and just, this whole narrative that would go on into the future for us first generation.
It never ended
fans,
for you.
Of, us getting robbed and us getting, cheated by the NFL. And I remember one of those early images after that game was JohnMadden in the locker room stating that, the referees at the end of the game had ran into the dugout of Three Rivers Stadium, gotten on the phone after the chaos of Franco scoring and trying to deliberate, had the ball hit the ground, or was there some other infraction and penalty based on the hit from Frenchie Fuqua from Jack Tatum. Anyway, Madden said definitively that they had, got on the phone and were told by New York, to call it for the Steelers.
Wow.
And that was the first education that I got, of understanding and beginning to understand this whole dynamic we talk about now 50 years later of the Raiders getting robbed by the NFL.
Yeah.
And JohnMadden was the first face outside of Al Davis that I recognized as someone that stood up for the Raiders. And that was the first kind of informing moment of me that there's a different component to this thing. That you've got to, why do you have to defend the Raiders? Like, why is this happening? And that's what I questioned. But he was so stoic and so defiant and also so purposeful in saying, we got robbed. Now he would deny it years later and the stories would change, of course. He wouldn't deny, but the story would change as it went on. But yeah,
all that gregarious or whatever you know him for, the ogre on the sideline.
His outgoing attitude, yeah.
But like you said, when it came to the football aspect of it and defending the Raiders to the refs or to the broadcasters about the refs and the calls, he meant it and he said it. He was direct. He never pulled any punches.
And he's also the first coach to, win a Super Bowl for the Raiders. 1977,
that touches on something I've always discussed with you, Rob, because you've always said, we want to win, and if you haven't won the big one, you're not going to win the big one. You've said that about a lot of newer guys that I've tried to at least get behind, because I mean, even with Chucky the first round, they got rid of him after a couple of playoffs games, three in a row, 3 years in a row. JohnMadden went to 6 and lost 6. Count them 6. AFC championship games to go to the Super Bowl before he got the big one in Super Bowl 11. But because they were such a winning team, I know that kept them at least around.
Yeah.
And they had such great players. But they sure gave him a long leash back then, or Al did anyway.
Well,
That's 10 years almost.
Again, he was hired, and you saw some of this when Al hired Gruden and hired Lane Kiffin, trying to catch lightning on a bottle again at 32 after being a coordinator for the Raiders. Al hired him in 1968, and then Madden, of course, became, next to Al, through the 70s, the face of the Raiders, and the team was even referred to as JohnMadden's Raider Bad Boys. Still to this day, there's a book out, about JohnMadden's Bad Boys called Badasses, and then Stone's.
I read that one. I do have Badasses. That's a great book. Bobby Venom from Raiderhead gave me that as a Christmas present one year, and it was just cool. I love reading books. I came across this one at least 30 years ago, and it's called Hey, Wait a Minute, I wrote a book by JohnMadden. I think it's his first one.
Right. And then he followed it up with this one. Go ahead.
So I've read this one. So a lot of those stories, like even that while you were describing the story, I was thinking about him saying it in the book. Like he tells all these stories. Yeah, you got to go pick up some books about
One Size Fits All. This was another book that he did. But he became a big author, like Stone said, TV personality.
To wrap up on the book, the reason why I talked about the book.
We're not going to wrap up. She's got to speak on it, too. We're going to allow her to.
My thought right now is that it's him telling the story. It's JohnMadden talking to you, telling the story.
Yeah, he writes like he talks.
I love it.
You know JohnMadden stuff.
Well, yeah, that was coming into the picture for me was 77 because, I was 7 years old then. I was really into football. I was understanding it at that point. And JohnMadden, you not only, he defended the Raiders, he defended football because he was the football educator, the great football teacher. He knows, and in terms of Al Davis and giving him a long leash, these are similar minds. They won the same way. They think the same way. And so, and when that person's getting you to championship, that was different going to the championship then. AFC championship compared to what it is today because of what the NFL has become. But John Madden was that person that taught me. And then I learned even further about football from him, watching other football games. And then, of course, him, using the, drawing on the screen and beginning that. And it's like just a great football educator. And I just love that about him. I loved his style of play, his game. And I came into the picture of us being champions. So that's really influential over why I want so much for the Raiders to win in that style.
We were spoiled, and it was something that was expected, and it was traditional, so to speak, that every year they'd be in the playoffs. Also, when you talk about the education of football, we fast forward to the resurgence of video games and home video gaming in the late 80s and the early 90s, and he is one of the pioneers, of course, of the football video gaming platform, Madden. And Bo Jackson football and all that. He was behind all of that, was the inspiration for that. And we all played Madden. You're a great Madden player.
We've had many Madden tournaments.
We've had tournaments over the weekends.
But a lot of broken controllers. Raider Rob. I mean, I've never seen someone go through so many controllers by smashing them after every fucking play. Flying across the room.
That game cheats you.
That cord was just a leash to fucking whip and smack it everywhere.
That game cheats you when you're the Raiders. And I always thought that was a little inside thing with EA Sports. That, the game's great. You learn. It's a great educational tool for football. Many people, novices of football, have learned about football, playing the game. All that. Even us experienced, well-knowledge football fans that play the game, we get more into it. It helps us understand the game more. But I always thought EA did that on purpose. That the game was good and pretty much flawless, at least the first 5-6 years of it. I've heard now since like 2011, 2012, the game is, not as good as it used to be and what have you. But that game, the gameplay, seemed to be against the Raiders. And I always thought that was kind of like a F you to us because the game was named after our great Raider coach, that they wouldn't make the Raiders a good team in the system. And you played it too. They fuck the Raiders all the time.
I know. It's still that same thing. And people know that's like, why aren't the Raiders winning? Why are the Raiders sucking, man?
Please send us at RaiderFanRadio@gmail your memories of John Madden. Let us know what he meant to you, your experiences with the Madden game, and what have you. But John Madden, the great coach of the Raiders, the great author, the great video game pioneer, and the great broadcaster.
My favorite thing about John Madden that stands out most of all those things is that he was just such an individual in his career choices. And he always embraced the individual when it came to his players and his day-to-day life philosophy. Just like in many ways Al Davis, which is why I think they got along so good. Al Davis was so
that's what Steph said.
He admired the individual so much. He had to have a John Madden to do like you said. But it's like that. But he also when it comes to the broadcasting world and all that, this real serious world, especially broadcasting. It's every word out there is almost written and scripted, and they try to make sure whoever's going to say those words were going to be on point and say the right things and not say the wrong thing to embarrass himself and all those things. John Madden goes into that world, and boom, in his own words, literally just fucking blew it up. And became the only guy, still to this day, and that's why I compare him to the Beatles and things of that magnitude that have changed the world. He just went and just shook it, rocked it, did it his way, said, I'm not flying, I'm driving, whatever he fucking wanted to do. They said, you got it, dude. Whatever you want. You just do you. He's the ultimate in the do you.
And the only broadcaster to ever work NFL games for all three networks. ABC, NBC, and CBS. So anyway, a pioneer from the Bay Area. I had the pleasure of meeting him a couple times in my life and saw him up at camp when we were kids. When we used to go up to Santa Rosa. So, just a big piece of Oakland sports history and the NFL and the Raiders and life,
And we love you, John.
Yeah. God bless his wife and his 2 sons out in Black Hawk, California. Yeah.
So, Steph, you're going to take us now into the internet universe, the multiverse.
Yeah.
We're in it right now.
Speaking of technology.
We're in the internet multiverse.
We're in the multiverse.
Anything can happen.
We're the algorithm, baby.
Yay. RaiderFan
Happy
Radio.
2022. RaiderFanRadio.Vegas.
Yes, baby. We are coming into an era in terms of airlines. We're looking at...
Wait, we're talking airlines now?
We're talking airlines. We're coming into the 5G era. And there's something that we have to all be mindful of.
I thought we were already in the 5G era.
Well, some of us have. But now it's going to be universal.
I'm still in the 0G. I'm OG.
As of January 5th,
0G.
in the United States, wireless broadband deployment will begin, meaning that they will be deployed everywhere.
That's militaristic there.
Exactly.
That sounds very militaristic.
That's what it is. And the FAA, that's part of,
You deploy the troops?
You deploy the troops. We're deploying 5G.
We're deploying technology.
Right, everywhere.
In other words, you're going to get it whether you like it or not.
Right. And they're really fighting against, there are some groups fighting against it, but, pay attention to the corporations that are fighting for it, like Verizon, for instance, is one of those companies. But basically, because as of January 5th, 2022, the United States, under FCC regulations, remember the FCC shirts done by Stoner Dude?
We've never been fans of the FCC.
No, and now they're deploying 5G everywhere. And the first people to complain is the airline industry, because the pilots want to make sure that their passengers and that they are safe, because 5G is going to interfere with part of their landing technology.
Wait a minute, there's a glitch.
Part of the landing procedures
there's a
are going to be
glitch.
affected by 5G.
Wait a minute, wasn't there a glitch on the system with the cashless society over at Allegiant Stadium earlier last year?
There's a glitch in Walmart with these slow-ass motherfuckers that know how to use their damn card.
There's always a glitch.
Yeah.
So they're saying that they're going to rely something as important as landing a plane, or who knows what they're doing.
Cash.
And hopefully there won't be a glitch.
Right, and hopefully there won't be a glitch. Yes. So that's a flight safety concern, definitely for me, somebody that, may use air travel, and, I'm already nervous if I'm on a plane.
It's your Madden cruiser, baby, like me. You're on a bus.
We're going to have to look.
Bus, man.
We're going to have to look to our Madden
cruiser, the RaiderFan Radio cruiser.
And now we see what, JohnMadden, that's part of that fear, but imagine even now.
Well, he would definitely not get on a plane.
Yeah. So we just be concerned about that. The Federal Aviation Commission is trying
Be concerned about getting stranded in airports in the middle of fucking nowhere, man, with no way out.
I'd rather be stranded at the airport than in the air.
I feel you on that.
The pilots are upset. They're like, first you're forcing us to, do things, be a part of a medical experiment, and then now,
shots.
we might lose our radar at one of the most crucial times of using the instruments that we use. So all of our technology is really going to, take a turn at this point. And so we have to think about how that affects those other things like transportation and like physically our bodies. So again, keeping mindful of those changes. And we know that 5G has an effect on breathing and respiratory. So we've got to stay strong. We got to stay vigilant. We've got to stay healthy. We've got to take our DMG, our D3,
I've been doing my
our
zinc.
B12, our zincs.
I've been zinking
Our
it
marijuana.
up.
Our cannabis.
Oh, THC, vitamin THC.
Yeah.
You know what I want? I want a car door
Some
that
brandy.
you turn, that you open the window by turning a fucking handle.
You want to go back to
In other
that?
Go back
words,
to the old school.
Well, all these new things are happening and taking over and being
Don't
deployed.
scare the young people.
Being
Don't
deployed.
scare the young people.
Everything's
talking
being
about
deployed.
doing manual shit. Don't
Everything's
scare 'em.
being deployed right now. I just liked a simpler time where when I was in my car and I wanted to open or close the window, I would just turn a little fucking lever.
I want a lever. Quickly, give me
Fucking
another
twist it
lever.
up, you know?
No one wants a
And
77 Nova.
if the window breaks, I used to have to break into my car because I always locked my keys in the car because I was drunk like Nate Hobbs. Drunk like Nate Hobbs.
You did not use the hanger? You did not use the hanger?
Yeah, I had to take my fucking antenna
hanger?
off my car, break it off the car, and then use it as But with electric windows, fuck, you can't do any of that shit at all.
messy,
You're
messy.
screwed. If something goes, if there's a glitch, if the power don't run or nothing like that, you're screwed. What if you go into fall off a side of a pier, drive off into a pier?
Driving up in a pier.
Yeah, suddenly
you
went
go
to
into the
miles
water.
or something. Starts getting
And
hot.
you go into the water, and you're now submerged underwater in your car.
Yeah.
Would you rather have A, electric button to open up the window to swim out of the car and for a life-saving moment, or would you rather have a lever like my thing and just fucking patiently twist? You're twisting fast, okay? You're
You have
definitely twisting
to, of
fast,
course.
right? But you'd rather have that lever. I'm telling you.
Again,
Yeah, I'm with you.
my two physics deficient friends here. The water pressure, whether you have electric windows or roll up manual,
Physics deficient.
are gonna fucking be slim to none because of the pressure of the water against the window. You're not
I
gonna
want
be
my
able to
handle
do it.
just to be
You
safe.
gotta stand it. You gotta
I want
stand
my
the
fucking
chance.
I want my handle, man.
Yeah.
Gonna have to kick it out like Bruce Willis, baby, in all the Die Hard movies, just like they do in the movie. You have to kick the window out. Anyway, that's funny.
That's tragic. I just pictured that. It's like no.
I hope that never happens to any of you. You know, and if any of you find yourselves getting ready to drive into a pier, you've gone too far. Okay? Alright? Veer left and get back on the road.
You got it right there on the fucking screen. If you ever get
If you find yourself too close to a pier,
You've gone
you've
too
gone too far, man.
Yes.
gone too far, go back.
Yes. Don't want any accidents or accidents.
So you're basically your warning is keep an eye on the airline industry. They're doing some trickeration with 5G.
Yeah, that was
5G,
over. Yeah.
Make sure their 5G works.
Yeah, make sure their 5G
I mean,
works.
again, it's more testing on the American people and testing on
It's called the
humanity.
human experiment.
You
We're
know,
in it.
that's not cool.
Well, we had somebody that
Get it
tried.
working.
We had somebody that tried the old American experiment of litigation and jurisprudence and suing people.
Jurisprudence?
And it didn't work. And I'm glad this one didn't work because this sensitive society we're in now, and everybody crawling out of their, cubby holes of the past to try to sue for this, that, and the other. Okay, it's just gotten out of hand. And this one was really out of hand. The little baby who appeared on the cover of Nevermind, Nirvana's breakthrough album. You all remember Kurt Cobain and Chris Novoselic and Dave Grohl and Nirvana,
yeah.
the great grunge band from Seattle, the 90s. Anyway, now, all these years later, as of last year, 6 months ago, the baby who was on the cover of Nevermind, naked, floating in the pool of water, had tried to come out and sue Nirvana and the estate of Kurt Cobain for the cover, saying that it was pornographic and had exploited him as a kid. Even though his parents, signed off on him being the baby.
That's
that
it.
was featured in the album. They were paid, yada, yada, yada. Well, all these years later, his little sensitive ass, because it got out as he was growing up that he was the baby. Okay,
You
has been
millennial.
teased and shamed and, had people accuse him of being a little exploited by porno and the evils of the music industry and that he was used and all
I don't
that.
know. It's a baby body.
Anyway.
Nothing sexual.
Nobody was thinking that back in 1997 or 8 or whenever that fucking album came out.
He's added to the list of all the babies that were used.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
Gerber baby.
Right.
The copper tone
Yeah,
baby.
yeah, exactly. The copper tone kid. You could see that kid's ass on a billboard.
Yeah.
Isn't
A
that
kid.
one of Kathy Hilton's little ass?
I think it might be. I
It's
think
even
it
a
might
cartoon.
be.
But still, it's a cartoon. There's a line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But the point being is, I wonder what happened to all those that grew up, like the Gerber baby, and what happened.
Yeah,
if they were as tortured, or if they got the money that the
no,
Nirvana guy
they've
got.
been where are they nows on a lot of those.
I wonder if the Gerber baby got as much money as the Nirvana dude got.
Likely not.
No, likely not.
So the Nirvana dude should be happy that he got the dough, or at least.
Well, he didn't get the dough at the time he was a baby.
He's got
His
girls.
parents got it.
He's got. I'll bet you anything that Nirvana dude's gotten laid because of that baby picture.
Oh, I'm sure he signed
he's got
autographs and all
something.
that. Yeah.
Don't fucking think you didn't get nothing. You've got something.
But he was
man.
trying to get paid. He was trying to get millions all these years
Well,
later.
everybody wants millions.
Yeah.
Well, you need it now more
I
than
want
ever.
millions,
so
too.
That makes sense. That makes total sense. There's a lot of lawsuits pop up when people are like, "Whoops, I don't have any dough."
Well, if you see someone that's got dough, Raider Rob knows you're gonna go try to get that dough.
That's
Try to
right.
get that dough.
Get the money, man.
That's
But anyway,
legit.
so that happened. It got thrown out. Judge told him, go fuck yourself. And that's the end of that. So I'm glad that happened because, he shouldn't have got paid for that. It's artistic and nobody was,
Nobody was hurt.
It was full
got
frontal
paid.
nudity.
As Michael Jackson once said, you make it sexual.
Yeah. Talk
and
to your parents about that.
Yeah, right. Anyway, in the other music news, Stone, what's going on with you, man?
I'm saving that.
Oh, he's going to say Stone's
saving
going to
it.
save it.
Saving it. Here's a teaser for the next show. I'm saving it.
He's saving it. Here's another
I'm
teaser.
savoring it.
Our spinoff show, RaiderFan Radio, that started in 2005, started by Chris Dobbins up in the Bay.
Yes.
This is a little in-house cleaning. There's been a running misrepresentation going on up in Oakland. And so in our next show, I'm going to address that, particularly the Corporal Right Field, Keith Salmian, all right, who has been the proprietor of RaiderFan Radio.
You've got a thing with Keith?
No, Keith has a thing with
Keith's
the
got
truth.
a thing with the truth and misrepresentation, and he keeps making.
We have a thing with Keith.
Yeah.
We're okay with Keith? You just need to straighten him out?
Yeah, just need to straighten him out, straighten out
Try
some
to get
shit
you to straighten me out to figure out what
as
you're doing to Keith.
as it relates to misrepresentations of the Las Vegas Raider Nation, misrepresentations of the move 4 years ago and the whole process behind that, and recently some misrepresentations about Las Vegas and the Athletics possibly moving here. Keith is basically running off in his fucking mouth, and as per usual sometimes with him, doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, is misinforming his public. And there is an interest because, number one, RaiderFan Radio is a spinoff of RaiderFan Radio.
Right.
So there's a certain culpability.
Does that mean we get a cut of his?
We should, but
Just make him try to figure this out.
as of now, since we reached
We're having
out
a
to
production
him,
meeting right
he's
now.
ducking and dodging and don't want to fess up. But we'll smoke your ass out. Okay, and like I
Come on,
told you,
Keith, get
it's
on
not
and talk
personal.
about it.
We don't want to ambush you, but I want you to come out publicly and defend
want you
some
to
of the shit
ambush
you've
him.
been saying because you've been misrepresenting Oakland. You've been misrepresenting your fan base and followers and audience, and you've been misrepresenting the truth about what happened in the Raiders move here, the Las Vegas fans here, and the A's potentially coming here. And so all of that, brother, you need to address. So
What's his website?
he's Radio Radio
RaiderFan Radio.
on Facebook. He's on Facebook. I've already sent him an invitation, and so
look
we'll see what
forward to
happens.
it, yeah.
Yeah, come
Now,
on out, man.
I'd like to just hear why he thinks the way that he does, just in light of
Do you wait now? I know Keith. Do you really want to hear him explain the way? Would you just say things the way he does?
I wanted to know.
I don't know. Okay, wait a minute.
he needs to fess up to
I
some
want to
shit,
see it
though.
now. To me,
I want to see it now.
This is the best cheese ever.
Because they've got to
If
explain.
you're gonna bring his show into this show,
They've got
I
to
wonder what the fuck's
explain.
going on.
He's got to explain the hypocrisy, and a lot of them up there have got to explain the hypocrisy of the Warriors moved to San Francisco, and none of y'all got shit to say about that.
Because they were going to go
But
over
you
there.
continuously want to misrepresent and shoot bullshit and shots down here to Las Vegas about the Raiders being here. Shit that you knew. 3 years ago.
Right.
You know, and so anyway, the bottom line is, y'all are all some undercover Frisco kiss asses, all right, and you need to stand up for the misrepresentations that you've been putting out, and I'm calling you out for it. So make this go viral, put it on Keith's site, HBCU Radio on Facebook.
You want to go after
You
Keith
know, and help
the
go
internet?
through it. Yes.
Fill up his shit.
Trying to bring it, calling him out.
Calling him out.
Because he claims he be calling out, you know, the bullshit with the Raiders, and he's calling out Raider fans that went to the desert with the clown show and all this shit. He ain't talking to us because we came before the Raiders.
Right.
So it ain't us. But I still got to hold him accountable for all those Raider fans, you know, who aren't representing and aren't of what he is making it seem like.
Yeah.
You're lying. Right. All right? And your motherfucking ass needs the answer to it. So stop running, baby. It's all good. We'll treat you right. We'll give you a Coke, you know, and a smile.
Have a smile.
Well, that's another show. Now, done. Wrapped. Put a bow on it. Or do we have more?
No, we're out.
We are out and done.
It is 2022. The Raiders play the Chargers on Sunday. Sunday night football for a chance to go to the 2021-22 playoffs at the Death Star, Las Vegas, Dean Martin Boulevard. It is going down, Dean Martin Way, excuse me. And yeah, bring your Vax card. Bring your attitude, bring your passion. Raiders on third down. Raiders. Okay, be loud, be proud. Don't forget, Saturday night, the parties will be going on. Y'all get out there and do it like Nate Hobbs, all right? Don't try to fall asleep, though. Raider Homer and the Raider Crusaders and the Black Hole Austin chapter will be downtown with Oakland Raiders Savage, okay, Mad Max, and Miss Victoria. All right, they'll be downtown at the Fremont Country Club for the Too Short Raider Nation party, Saturday, January 8th. Anyway, stick and stay, Raider Nation.
We'll see you at show number 30. Till then, go get your Stoner Dude coloring book at stonerdudeart.com. See you next time. Go Raiders!
Happy Raider New Year!
Raiders! Get into the playoffs. Later, Raider.
Peace.
The views and opinions of RaiderFanRadio.Vegas, RaiderFanRadio.com, and RaiderFan Radio Media are not the views and opinions of the Las Vegas Raiders, Al Davis Football, Inc., or the National Football League. RaiderFanRadio.Vegas is an independent media source.